Here's a question that is in the back of almost everyone's mind, whether we admit it or not. Are we safe? With everything that's going on around the world, as a country, do we feel safe? Let's bring on investigative reporter and producer Eric Longabardi from the EnterpriseReport.com. Hello, Eric.
Hey, Fred, how are you?
Good, thank you. Word yesterday that federal authorities raided the homes of suspected members of a Christian militia group. What can you tell us about the group?
Well, they were running around in the forest doing military training for a while, posting their videos on YouTube, so I don't think they were too undercover, and they had a website and pretty much telling everybody what they were all about, so the feds didn't have to look far for information. So, they were pretty well known, so I think the feds got worried they were up to something, so they decided to crack down on them and haul them in.
I know you do a lot of investigative work on this. According to your information, this is not an isolated case, right?
No, these groups have been around for a long time. One of the most famous ones people might remember is the Montana Freemen, who carved out a little niche up in Montana and called it a sovereign country and told the feds to go take a hike and come get us if you want us. They were kind of a menagerie of crooks, criminals, and miscellaneous malcontents. But, that's what these guys do. They think the government's not legit, and, sometimes they take up arms. And these guys are, not to be flip, they are very serious sometimes, and that's why you saw the response from the feds that we did see.
On the subject of security, you've done a number of stories on the no-fly list. I find this interesting. Just because you can't get on a commercial plane doesn't mean you can't get on any plane, right?
That's right. I found it kind of amazing myself. You can't get on a commercial plane if you're on the no-fly list, and they check your name, and if you're on that list for whatever reason the government felt you may be a would-be terrorist or something that warranted getting you on that list. If you're flying from London to L.A. on Virgin Atlantic, they say, sorry, sir, you can't get on the plane. But if you have the money, you have the plane, and you have the time, if you're on a private aircraft, no such laws apply. And I did a story, as you probably were referring to, about a guy named Gilbert Chigurhi who has that kind of money and flew to L.A. and had a cocktail party with a cardinal from the Vatican and the head of the Department of Transportation, Raymond LaHood.
And he's on the no-fly list?
Yes, he is.
Amazing. Now, they're trying to look into the situation, right, and correct this.
Yeah, what we call it, Fred, is a gaping security loophole. And they've been aware of it for a long time, but there's been a lot of pushback from the private aviation community about trying to close it. And this guy, this story about Gilbert Chigurhi has sort of been the pinpoint now of what's probably going to change it, because he is a multi-millionaire slash probably billionaire, and he is the first real example of how this gaping hole exists.
Eric, good stuff tonight. Really appreciate it. Great talking to you. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks, Fred.
Okay.